might even let you off the hook.
Well, that's it. Back then, he did let me off, though, because I said to him, I said, officer, I said, well, I gave him a half truth because, I'm driving. I can't control the clowns in the back. And
Right.
they had opened the beers and had them popped open. So the cop said to me, do you have any beer? And I said, yes. He goes, is any of it opened? But also, that was when I had the van. And in the middle of the console, I had my hunting knife sticking out. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
he's gonna see this. But I mean, the point is if that happened today,
Forget
I
it.
would have a record.
Gone.
I'd have a record.
Gone. 100%. Like a hardcore record too. He would have seen the knife on top of it. Would have been like, oh, a weapon! Oh my God! Oh,
Yeah, he'd probably shoot everybody in the van.
Oh,
But
yeah.
called backup. He didn't call backup. There was this one guy and one Watertown cop, and he was cool
Right.
about it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
today, dude, today there would have been 2 or 3 cop cars on the scene. 100%. They
Yeah.
might have even drawn down on you.
it would not have been a good scene. And that story I told you about that time when I went to that party over in Roslindale,
Yeah.
and it wasn't my car. It was this Ford Escort somebody had. So I didn't have any expectations of driving, but thankfully I didn't drink a lot. Everybody was wasted. And the party's over, everybody's going home. The cops came, kicked everybody out. Well, you have to leave, right? And here we are. We got 5 guys squeezing into this car, and nobody is even able to even keep their head up. And I had to drive the car. And I think I told you, I get to the stoplight, and my head was so tired. And this is wintertime. I rolled down the window. There was no electric. And I just put my head on the window like this, just while the light's red. And the light goes green, and I pick my head up, and I look over in the corner lot at the Dunkin' Donuts, and there's 2 cops in the cop car looking at me. One has a coffee and a donut, and the other one's shaking his head like this.
Literally?
Yeah, literally. And I was
Yeah.
scared straight. I was like, oh my God.
So what did the cops do?
Nothing. They just shook. Today, I mean, I had had something to drink.
Today they would have stopped you so quick and arrested you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was alcohol in my system. Whether it was enough to, it was probably 3 in the morning, and I was just tired. I don't think
Right.
I was drunk. I don't think I was drunk to where I couldn't drive. Otherwise, I would not have driven.
Right.
But today, would the cop have pulled me over? Absolutely,
1,000%.
absolutely. And so people would say, well, the cops are better today because they're keeping us safer. Do you feel safer today?
No. Their conviction rates are higher than ever, but it's just because, look, you know what it is? Don't get me going with the cops, particularly around here. They pull you over for the slightest thing. It's all a revenue grab. That's all it is.
Well,
It's a revenue grab.
Oh yeah, well that's all it is exactly, and it also is a union thing. If you can increase your arrests, you need more cops, etc., etc. Also,
Yeah.
I heard this stat, and I forget the stat. Somebody's out there saying that you're 8 times more likely or 20 times more likely to be killed by a cop than a terrorist or something like.
Yeah.
Something
Dude,
crazy
I
like
believe
that. Yeah.
these yahoos around here that I see, I mean, I could see you look at them the wrong way and they're going to draw down on you. And you're catching lead.
Well, today, even with cameras like that, did you have a chance to look at that videotape of that shooting in L.A.? 6 cops holding that guy down.
No. I
And
didn't
six L.A. cops are holding this homeless guy. Homeless guy. How good a shape could this guy be in?
Terrible. He was weak.
And
But why did they even engage in the first place?
they didn't get into that. This guy pinned to the ground, and supposedly the story is, get this, the story is he was grabbing for one of the cops' guns, so they had to shoot him.
Of course.
And then they shot him 6 times.
Yeah.
In the back.
They couldn't stop him and overpower him with 6 guys. They had to fill him full of lead.
And he was shot in the back, so how the hell is he grabbing a gun if he's on his belly?
You know what? Here's the issue.
And they're gonna get off.
You've got so many cops now that are, I don't know who they're hiring. I'll leave it at that. in how they're training them. Just like the cops that choked the fat guy out 2 months ago in New York, remember? They slapped the UFC rear naked choke.
Yeah, and you know what they said? He was so big, how else were we going to do that? We had to choke him out. Well, how about, this is the part I don't get, is how about you train these guys not to engage?
Well, I was just going to say, the black guy even said, though, when he was on the ground, I can't breathe, I give up, I give up. He said it like 6 times, and they kept choking him. He already gave up. He already said, I'll stop, please, let me breathe. And so they choke him to death. Okay, you're right. Listen, you're supposed to use physical and lethal force as a last resort, meatheads.
Well, you saw that video last time where in St. Louis where they just pulled up. Guy had a knife in his hand, and he made a move towards the cops. He was 10 feet away from them.
The cops were like 20 feet away when he did that.
A good 10 feet.
So then they drew down on him. He was like 20 feet away. Okay, I agree you should not be waving a knife at police.
No, of course not.
Absolute bad move. Stupid thing to do. You're asking for trouble, no doubt. But, you know, if the cop was within striking distance 2 or 3 feet, okay, you're definitely asking to be hurt or shot. But they were like 20 feet away, 25 feet away in the cop car. It's like, really?
Well,
How about pull out the bullhorn first and say, sir, put the knife down on the sidewalk now, immediately.
You see the one in Florida where they pulled over the minivan and this old guy was in the passenger seat and he was scared, so he locked the doors and the cops are banging on saying, get out of the car. Well, he finally opened the car and he got out of the car and he's walking away like this.
Yeah.
And they tased him. This guy's like 75 years old. Hands up in the air, and they tased him, and he went down like a sack of potatoes. And I'm thinking to myself, you got 2 cops there, 2 burly guys.
Right.
This guy's got his hands in his ear, and you zap him.
Why not walk up to him and say, sir,
get on the ground.
Please stop walking away. Please turn around. Please go back to the car. I need you to sit down, or I need you to put your hands on the car. Without even muscling him, out of respect, because he's an older man. Sir, will you please do this for me? I would not have tased him at first, at all. The only time I would have tased a 75-year-old is if he went for my gun or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
And at that age, I mean, a taser could kill you.
Agreed.
Granted, when I get pulled over by the police,
it's just no common sense.
I can tell you that, first of all, I try to be very respectful.
Oh, yeah, and very polite and keep you cool. Because the way most of these guys react now, and in a way you can't blame them because they run into so many violent knuckleheads in society now. In a way, it's a double-edged sword where they don't know you, Dave, right? And they don't know what you're capable of doing.
I understand that, but they cannot treat everybody like a criminal. They have to err on the other side, like you said. Is they have to treat you with extra courtesy.
You can diffuse a situation, even when somebody's irate, depending on how you act. Not always, but most of the time, you can diffuse the situation if you keep your cool and your calm.
Yeah, and if I was in charge of the police, I would tell them very clearly, even if you're getting blowback from these people who are irate for getting pulled over, that does not give you carte blanche to say, I'm giving it back to you double because I am an authority. And that's the problem that I see today is the police. I had it happen to me in Manchester where I was at the light. I told you that scenario. I was at the stoplight and I was going to take a right on red and this cop said, where do you think you're going? I said, it's a right on red. And the guy basically lambasted me and I was right. But you think I'm going to fight this guy?
No, I wouldn't. No.
But
I would just, okay, officer, sorry, my bad. Okay, stop. What are you going to do? Just let it go.
This guy was like, I don't remember. I mean, this was 2 years ago. But I was sitting there and I said to him, I said, hey, I said, listen, there's no cause for your attitude here, officer. And I said, if you want me to pull over and we can continue this further, I will. Yeah. He goes, no, just get out of here. So I'm not gonna sit around there arguing with this guy. I left, and I came very close to following up with the mayor. I had told you about this, and my attitude was like, you know what? In my city, all you get is a target on your back.
Yeah.
The cops come looking for you.
Yeah. I agree.
They'll find a way to get you.
That's why.
Oh, you're jaywalking. We'll shoot you now.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's why you just keep your mouth shut. That's all. And even if you don't want to be respectful, you keep your mouth shut, and that's it. And diffuse the situation.
That's our whole country today now, isn't it?
Our country's the opposite. Everybody gets in your face. They got a big mouth. My rights, F you.
But do they really know what their rights are?
No,
I mean, they have their rights being taken. The national, like that woman who I tried to engage with the NDAA.
Hold on. No, I stand corrected. They do know what their rights are. Their rights are to have a free cell phone, to have the state pay their rent, and to give them food stamps. Those are their inalienable rights, Dave. And if they want to have a 50-pound gut and sit around all day and not work, actually, those are their rights now. It's called entitlement. Sorry.